day, ladies and gentlemen, personalities, good day. Today we are going to do trigonometry, and in trigonometry we are going to do cosine rule. And the cosine rule is a rule that looks like this, and cosine rule is part of grade 12 mathematics paper 2, and that is grade 11 and grade 12 syllabus of CAPS in South Africa. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, personalities, at the end of the session, we should know what cosine rule is, we should know where does cosine rule work, and lastly, we should know how does it work. It means we are going to have examples where cosine rule directly works, and then we are going to take things from there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, personalities, where does cosine rule comes from? Before I explain that, ladies and gentlemen, personalities, my name is Mkondes Magaba from Tembela Maths Club, a club that helps learners to understand mathematics, right? And if you want to become part of this community, you can go ahead and hit the subscribe button down there. There's a subscribe button down there. Just press subscribe there. And then also, if you want to be notified when there is a new video being uploaded here, you can also go ahead and hit the notification button after hitting the subscribe button, right? All right, ladies and gentlemen, when we started with the trigonometry topic, we explained that trigonometry only works in a right angle triangle. Right now, in a right angle triangle, you will then be able, if you are looking for an angle or you are looking for what, a side, you can actually apply Pythagoras theorem. And then obviously, if you can't apply Pythagoras theorem, then you use what? You use trigonometry. Now, what if you do not have a right angle triangle? When we were doing sine rule, of which I hope you have seen, then what we said is that if the triangle is not a right angle triangle, what you simply do is you then express it in terms of a right angle triangle, and then we're still going to discuss that. And then we said after that, you will then produce sine rule, you can produce cos rule, which is this rule, cosine rule, and then also an error rule. So today we are now dealing specifically with the cosine rule, so that we can see how that works out. So here is, so this is a cosine rule. Cosine, let me just take it over, say cosine rule, cosine rule. So listen to personalities, if you have a triangle like this one, say if we have a triangle like this one, right, and then this is angle A, and then this is angle B, and then this is angle C. If this is angle A, you will have a side here, which is side A, which is opposite angle A, and then angle B, and then you will have a small side B, which represents this side, and then same thing here, you will have angle C. Okay, now cos rule, what does cos rule say? Cos rule says the following very, very simple thing, is that in triangle A, B, C, so what do you do? What happens in triangle A, B, C? So if you have A squared, okay, so what A squared will be, it will be B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cos what? Cos A. All right, so remember, I'm just gonna write it on the side. You've got what? You've got A, B, C. Can you see that? So when you took A squared as a substitute formula, here you're going to have B squared plus C squared, and then minus 2, and then you must take any 2 that you used here, and then after that you must say cos of the angle that corresponds with this side. Right now, that simply means that now, what if you decide to take B squared as a substitute formula? So if you have B squared, let me write with another color. So if you have B squared, okay, so it's B squared, therefore you will have A squared plus C squared. So it's going to be equal to A squared plus C squared, right? And then minus 2, and then you must take A, it's going to be A, and then C, and then C, and then you must say cos of an angle that is opposite to this one, and then cos, but this is cos B. Right now, what if you take C squared as a substitute formula? C squared c squared is going to be, okay, you took c, so you must take ab here. Can you see? It's going to be a squared plus, okay, let me write with a different color as well, so that it's going to be different. C squared, c squared is equal to a squared plus what? Plus b squared minus 2ab, and then of course, then you must take this c. Let's see, right? Okay, but don't worry about all of these things. We're just simplifying the theory, but this is what we're going to do. You're going to use mostly. Okay, it doesn't matter. Now we'll talk about where do we then use a cosine rule. Okay, let's just put this somewhere here on the side. Let's put it here. Okay, let's put it here, and then let's take a problem. Okay. Okay, so here we are being asked to find what? To find the angle of size A. Which angle is it? This is the angle that you are looking for. This is the one. Let me just highlight it. This is the angle that you are looking for. Okay, so what is it that you are given? Remember, guys, whenever you're doing problems in mathematics, you must look at what you are given and what you are looking for. So what we are given here is 1, 2, 3 sides. We were not given any angle. We're just looking for an angle, but we're given 3 sides. So if we have that kind of a situation, if we are only given 3 sides and we're looking for an angle, and then the triangle that we are talking about is not a right angle triangle, there's only one thing that we can use. And what is that? That is what? That is a cos rule. So what are we going to do? We're going to use a squared, as I said earlier. So the solution. So what we're going to do is we're going to say a squared is equal to what? Is equal to b squared plus c squared minus 2ab, and then cos a that we are looking for. Okay, and then what is a squared, ladies and personalities? Remember, okay, now what is a, what is b, and what is c? Remember, a must be opposite a capital A. So this is a is equal to this, and then c must be opposite. So this one is c is equal to this, and then b must be opposite this capital B. So we've got b is equal to this. So in a place of a squared, what do you put? You put 27 squared, right? 27 squared is equal to, so b, what is b? Is 18 squared plus c is 15 squared, and then minus 2, and then a is 27, and then b, what did I do here? A squared is equal to b squared plus c squared plus 2bc. Hey, guys, sorry for that mistake. We make a lot of mistakes. Even the teachers, they make mistakes. Everyone make a mistake, can make a mistake sometimes. Okay, so let's see if everything was fine. Okay, this one is fine. And then 2b, what is b? We must put b here. What is b? It's 18, so this must be 18, and then c must be what? Must be 15, and then cos a. Okay, and then so what do we then do from here? So when you are here, you will then go in the following fashion. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this part so that things will be easier for us. This part minus 2, 18, 15, and then we are going to put it on the other side. All right, and then take this 27 to this side. So what are we going to have? We're going to have, obviously this was minus here, so when you put it this side, what is going to happen? It's going to be positive. All right, so you've got 2, 18, 15 cos a is equal to, and then take this 18 squared as it is plus 15 squared as it is, and then when you take this 27 to the side, it's going to be minus 27 squared, right? Okay, remember we want cos a to be alone, so we'll divide with this both sides, right? So divide by 2, 18, 15, and then also here divide by 2, 18, 15, right? So this will cancel this, and then you remain with what? With cos A is equal to what? Is equal to this. You can take it down if you want to, no problem, but other than that, you can just put it on a calculator. Now, ladies and gentlemen, personalities, when you put this on a calculator, what you are going to get? You are going to get minus 0.333, and then this goes on and on and on. Okay? And then we all know that when we are looking for A, because you are not looking for cos A, you are looking for A. So A is going to be the reciprocal of cos evaluated at this thing, minus 0.333, and so on and so on. Ladies and gentlemen, personalities, in these cases, you must put the negative as well. Okay? Just put it as it is, and then, now what are you going to get? Now, when you punch this exact as it is in a calculator, you will get nothing other than what? A is equal to 109.447 degrees. All right. So now the first case on the question on where do we use the cos rule. The first case of using cos rule is when you are looking for an angle in a triangle. This is not a right angle triangle, and you are only given sides. So in that case, you are going to use what? You are going to use the cosine rule. Right? Wonderful. Now let's look at the second. So ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, again, when you want to see if you have understood this thing, pretend as if you did not see the solution and try to do it on your own and see if your answer is same as mine. Okay? Right. You must also watch me as well, because sometimes I can make a mistake. You must see, and you must tell me as well. Don't forget to tell me when I make a mistake, so that I can see and correct it. Okay? Yes. Now let's look at this one, and let's see what we can do here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, personalities. Now here we are supposed. Remember, here we were asked to find an angle. Now here we are asked to find the length of the side AC. So this is the side that you are looking for, right? Now, ladies and gentlemen, personalities, when we spoke, if you looked at my sine rule, there is something that I said in my sine rule video here in this channel. There is something that I said you use a sine rule if there is 2 and 1 condition. Now, what is that 2 and 1 condition? There are 2 and 1 condition says that there must be either 2 angles and 1 side, or there must be 1 side and 2 end. Now here you can see there is 2 sides and 1 angle. I said earlier there must either be 2 sides and 1 angle, or 1 angle and 2 sides. So here we've got 2 sides and then we've got 1 angle. Now the question is, can we use the sine rule here? Okay, here's the solution. So can we use the sine rule here? I want you to think about that a little bit. Okay. Right. Remember, we are looking at what? We are looking at AC. Okay. Let's try to use the sine rule here and see what happens. So, okay. So we can say we must always obviously start with what we are given. Let's say, so in this case, let's say AB, which is the side, AB over sine 48 degrees, which is this, is equal to, now what we're going to do, we can take either this side or this side. But here's a problem. Let's say we take this side. We are going to say have 57, but now we're not going to have this side. Can you see? So we won't be able, because sine A, we don't know what A is. See? So here is our problem. We do not know what A is. If we can also say take C, we still won't know what our angle C is. So we won't be able to use the sine rule. Okay? So now that simply means that we need to simplify, we need to clarify our methods and add another very important condition to the discussion that we had earlier in Sine Rule. So the biggest problem here, and what actually makes us not to be able to use the Sine Rule here, is because the angle that we have here is a very critical angle. Okay, the angle that is there is the included angle. Let me write it down. We have an included angle. Now, what is an included angle? So if we have an included angle is an angle between two known sides in this particular instance. Known sides. Can you see? Is the angle between two sides. Okay, now in this part we must have that angle. This angle is between two known sides. Okay, so because we've got an included angle, then we can't use Sine Rule. So the important thing about an angle in Sine Rule is that in Sine Rule, whatever angle that you have, it must not be an included angle. Alright? So you can have angle in Sine Rule, but it must not be included angle. Once it is an included angle, then you can no longer use Sine Rule. Now, what about Cos Rule? Ladies and gentlemen, personalities, in Cos Rule, it must be an included angle. So that then leads us to another condition that you must put forth when it comes to Cos Rule. So in Cos Rule, where do we use Cos Rule? You use Cos Rule under condition number 1. It must not be a right angled triangle. That is very important that you are referring to. Number 2, you must either be given if 3 sides are given and you are looking for an angle. All right, so this is condition. This is the second condition, and in the third condition, you must be given what? 2 sides and 1 angle. But let me actually write this down. This one with a red color. But it must be an included angle. In other words, the angle that you have there, it must be an angle that is between what? Between the 2 sides that you are given. Remember, you must have 2 sides and 1 angle, but this angle must be between these 2 sides. It has to be an included angle. If it's not, then you can no longer apply Cos Rule. Okay, now let's go back again and modify what? And modify the rule of sine. So in Sine Rule, it must be what? Also there, this condition always hold. It must not be a right angled triangle. Number 2, 2 and one condition must apply. Okay, that means you must have two sides or one angle, or you must have two angles and one side. But if you have two sides and one angle, and then NB, let me write it with red as well. If you have two sides and one angle, it must not be and included angle. Right? Great, wonderful. Okay, let's go back to our solution. So this is for sine rule area. Okay, great. Now let's come back to this. Now let's simply, so how can we go about and solve this one now? Okay, we know that now we can only use a cos rule. Sine. So how do we then go ahead and use a cos rule? Right, so what we will do is we'll say, okay, remember we are looking for what? We are looking for AC. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to say AC squared, the one that we are looking for. So we're going to say AC squared. Okay. Oh, let's just use what we know. Okay, we said in A, we're gonna have A here, A equal to, and then C we're gonna have C, which is equal to this, and then B, we're gonna have B here. Let's just use an easy one so that we can actually comply with this one to make our life a little bit more easier. So what are we going to do? We're going to say B squared is equal to what? B squared is equal to A squared plus C squared minus 2AC cos what? Cos B. Okay, which is an included angle. And then what is B squared? B squared, we do not know what it is. So it's this AC that we're looking for, AC squared. And then equal to this A squared. What is A squared? A squared is 55 squared. So we've got 55 squared plus C squared. C squared is 47. 47 squared. And then minus 2. 55 times 47. And then cos. And which angle do we have here? We had 48 degrees. Okay. Let's handle personalities. We can just put this thing straight to the calculator. And then when we put this thing straight to the calculator, what is it that we are going to have? We are going to have nothing other than, we're going to have, okay, let's quickly put it there and see what we get. Okay, when you put it there, you can check with the calculator. You get a number which is, so AC squared is what? Is 1774,594,7, and so on and so on. It continues and so on and so on. But remember, we're not looking for AC squared. What we are looking for? We are looking for AC. Now let's check personalities. When you've got this number, please don't round it off. You must always round off at the end, okay? Because you will lose precision. All right, okay? So just leave it like this on the calculator, and then you then put the square root, and so you know that when you want to get rid of square, you put square root both sides, so you'll end up having AC is equal to square root of this 1774,5974, and then the number that continues. Okay, and then when you do that, you then get what? You then get 42 comma what? 42,27. Now you've rounded off to 2 decimal place, and then remember that what we have done here, so remember that this was centimeter and then this was centimeter, so this must also be centimeter as well. So 42,27, 42,13, sorry for that, 13 centimeters, and then we are done. All right. So we had 2 cases here. First of all, we're looking for an angle and we had 3 sides, and then second case we were looking for a side and then we were given 2 sides and then included angle. Okay, and of which we did find out that we couldn't use sine rule. So if we couldn't use sine rule, so there was nothing else that was there for us other than the cos rule. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, personalities, sine rule and cos rule, they will always be cousins. They are very, very good friends. They go together. Sometimes you can use sometimes you have a choice to use both of them. Sometimes you can use one and then on the next problem use another one. So they always work together. So what we have to do whenever you're facing this kind of problem where you've got a triangle that is not a right angle triangle, you must then look closely, properly, and see. But obviously, I always recommend to learners, but you can take my recommendation, but you are not forced. You can not take it as well. Always try to use sine rule first, but if you can't use sine rule, you must know that cos rule will be able to help you, right? Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, personalities, this is cosine rule, and this is how cosine rule works, and this is an example of dealing with things with cosine rule. Ladies and gentlemen, personalities, thank you very much for tuning in, and have a lovely day, and goodbye. And guys, don't forget, if there's a mistake that I make that I did not rectify, please do not be afraid to let me know so that I can fix it, so that when somebody sees it, I will have already corrected it. Okay, thank you very much, and have a lovely day, and goodbye.